Hello and welcome back to your Monday with the Mayor segment here on 18 WJTS. Jared Atkins, and I am sitting here with the man, the Mayor of Huntingburg, Mayor Neil Elkins. And Mayor, it's good to see you.
Good seeing you, Jared.
What's going on around the city of Huntingburg right now? Like, what? There's always stuff going on, I'm sure.
Well, kind of recovering after a 3-hour marathon meeting yesterday with our utility rate advisory board and the council meetings. A lot of things happening there. One of those things, and we'll just get to the crust of it here, is that there was a utility rate advisory board suggested a rate increase on our gas utilities. That will only be impacted upon the base rate, not what people are paying, per 1,000 cubic feet of that they buy. But that was predicated. We've had 5 years of losses, totaling almost $1 million throughout the program, and so we're looking at a 3-hour, increase in the base rate for the average residential customer. The other thing that came out of that meeting is let's not wait 5 years and hit somebody with a $3 rate increase. Can we look at it annually and maybe take it up incrementally?
Small increases.
A few pennies here and there that we don't have to be able to pay back debt, because we had to borrow $1 million from the electric department. All these numbers are based upon the year that ended May 31st of 2024. So our gas company runs just winter. We consider the end of the winter season to be May, because that's when the last bills are paid, and we'll begin there. So beginning in probably April 1st, if passed, and final reading in February, there will be a $3 increase in the base rate from $7.40 to $10.40.
Right. And Mayor, that's a lot more common if you look around. I know we're local, but if you look around the state of Indiana, you're hearing about more and more of these utility companies, like the water company. They all having to do these increments because the way things were set for so long, and the change in the way things are in the world now, and you can talk about inflation or whatever. There's increases going on across the boards.
Yeah, our maintenance on our lines, some of our lines were put in 1956. They've been there. So the maintenance costs are pretty steady of what we pay to maintain those and replace lines where appropriate. Obviously, when there's new development, those developers pay for the new lines that run to those areas. We do have that as a charge. We've increased what that charge is to hook on for that. But people are using less gas, more efficient furnaces. Our winter, hard to tell, but based upon our last month of January that just ended here, but they are getting warmer,
right?
And people are using less gas, so we have to bring up that top line sales, so to speak, to be able to pay for those maintenance.
Well, and you talk about you guys are doing this, incremental and not to jump everybody's bill at once, but you guys have been fortunate that or the residents, I should say, have been fortunate that these bills have been lower for so long. But at some point, as a city, with a budget and maintenance and all these things to do, you have to at some point look to change the cost.
Yeah, we're statutory. We have to file our report annually with the state of Indiana, and by statute, we have to be able to fund it. At a break even or better, and so we've kind of been in violation of that over the past few years, but been able to kind of hold on because we did have a little bit of a surplus of money, but that surplus is being depleted. So that is real important to do. I'm a gas customer too,
Right.
We're all we give an increase, everybody gets an increase. But when we look at other traded gas companies around us, that their base rate's $35, $30, $40, and ours is $10.40. We're still well below anybody else. On the positive end, is that there is prices were negotiated for next year on electricity, and we're looking at a 5% decrease in electric bills for this year. So
that's great news.
And use electric 12 months out of the year.
Right.
Gas, some people don't use it, but about 4 to 6. So it'll be a nice trade-off that we're able to save some money there.
So, we're talking about these utility rate increases. What else is kind of anything else real big going on around the city right now?
Well, last night there was a presentation from Ruger Kirstein's development for the Poplar Ridge development, which would be 126 apartments on the north side of Huntingburg. It's an area that was actually platted for development in 1900, so it's set
That
vacant.
long?
It's sit there vacant.
Wow.
Since that time, it's been an area where people store old crappy dirt and all kinds
Right.
of stuff. So they're cleaning up that area, and coming in from the north into Huntingburg here in a few years, you'll be able to see a nice development off to your right, that's just prior to where the Welcome to Huntingburg sign is. So we'll clean up that area and make it look a lot nicer.
Mayor, not to put you on the spot here, but I did want to circle back to that development. I know we're talking about the city of Huntingburg, but Mayor Vonderheide and Jasper, they similarly did a study a while back about the housing needs of the city of Jasper, and what you're seeing is more people are trying to move into the city of Jasper and more developments are needed. Is that kind of the same thing you guys are finding here in the city of Huntingburg as well?
Yeah, Huntingburg participated in the same housing study that was done through ROI out of Bloomington. And I actually worked a little bit on that myself prior to becoming mayor. But that showed a need at that time, 2 years ago, for 140 to 160 apartments, rentals that are in this area.
Right.
Kind of the trend right now, before it was 75, 80% of the people own their home. It's going towards closer to 50%. We see that nationwide, of more people wanting to rent, younger people not wanting to tie themselves down to a home, but being able to, there's not that big desire of 20 and 30-year-olds to buy a home anymore.
Right.
They would rather rent something nice, and this gives us an opportunity, especially with the townhome developments, to come up with some 3 and 4 bedrooms too for those families that are in that area.
That is one thing that Ruger Kirstein's and his team, they've been involved in a lot of developments, and there's other people involved in all these developments. But one thing we're finding is that there's more and more of these 1 and 2 bedrooms as opposed to 3 or 4 bedrooms, and you have a family that might have 4 or 5 kids, and that's been a growing need, is the more 3 and 4 bedroom apartments.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest requests right now when people call in the city, where can I find a place to live? And really, all we can do is give them a list of landlords and hope they have luck finding it. We anticipate these to fill up pretty quickly, but it will be built over a 4-year period, so they will be staggered. You can't lease up that many apartments overnight. But I think that they stand a good chance. Any development that has been done by these developers has normally the first buildings leased before they ever unlock the front door.
Right.
So they do a great job of marketing and pulling people in. The other thing it'll do is bring new people into the city of Huntingburg. You're looking at maybe an extra 400 or 500 people out of that development. If you figure a household of like 3.8, bringing it into 126 units, and there'll probably be 5-6 years down the road, another 20 to 30.
And that's always good for local business. We always preach around the small communities, local first. So that's going to really help all the merchants around the city of Huntingburg.
And it's needed. Our number one concern talking to local employers is we need housing for our employees.
Sure.
So
Mayor, I've got one final question for you, and then if you've got anything else to add, you can. So we were just talking off camera before we started rolling tape that spring is, getting closer. So looking ahead, everybody enjoys the spring and summer months. What is coming down the pipe for the city of Huntingburg in the spring and summer? What can people expect?
Well, when February hits, it's always my attitude that we're one day closer to spring.
That's right.
And we continue to get
right.
in there. I don't get down in the winter months, but realizing that we have some things coming up. This week, February 7th and the 8th is the Chocolate Stroll on 4th Street. There will be some pop-up shops with sweets and other special events. We're trying to make, in the past, this was kind of a women's event. This is more of a family event this year. So there'll be stuff for the kids along 4th Street. Just look at the Strolling in Huntingburg Facebook pages and follow that along. Right after that, we have the Daffodil Stroll coming up in April. That's one of the big ones, probably next to the Christmas Stroll.
That's a big one, yeah.
Along with following the Daffodil Stroll is the Garden Gate, which is always the last weekend in April, and the Kiwanis do the car show on that Saturday of that. So the whole downtown area.
It's just
A
packed.
lot of
Yep.
things are going. Garden Gate and Jazz Wine Festival was a 1,300 last year. Tickets sold for that. Plus volunteers, there were probably 1,500 people, in downtown area. Plus those that were here for the car show. Still buy tickets for the Bombers. You can still buy tickets for Red, White, and Brawn. I think they're down a couple hundred seats maybe for Red, White, and Brawn, other than the standing room only on the field. To me, those are the best tickets anyway. That's where I bought mine. I enjoy being down there. So, look, keep an eye out for those events that are coming up later in the year. But tickets are being sold right now.
Okay. And Mayor, you guys are always real good. The team you have here working for the city, you guys are very active on the City of Huntingburg social media. So people can always find updates about what's going on with the city on Facebook as well, correct?
Yeah, we're trying a little harder just to make sure that whatever information we put out is information that you need to know, is pertinent. A lot of road closings going to be occurring over the next few months as the water treatment plant, or the wastewater treatment plant construction continues down First Street.
I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have already kind of started that a little bit earlier this month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be moving through there. There could be some one-way traffic. There could be no traffic, allowed on there from time to time. It's unfortunate, but that we have to shut the street down, but for safety reasons, that's really the only way that we can do it. And try not to disrupt people's lives as much as we can. We actually get together on a weekly basis with the contractor, with our own team here, with our safety team, of ways that we can do it safely and continue through. I think we've had at least 2 meetings in the last 8 days discussing this.
That's good. Well, Mayor, did we miss anything? Anything else you want to touch on? Did we forget about?
No, just coming in the new year, I think, that probably our biggest thing we'll be working on from the city right now is putting together a new nuisance ordinance. Regarding the first step to that will be a hoarding ordinance that'll be submitted here in a couple weeks, prevent the hoarding of lots. But we're also looking at ways to clean up the properties, get rid of the properties out there. Our statutes and our right now that we have in the city are not strong enough in order to clean up some of the things that we need to clean up. There's not enough teeth in it. There's not enough consequences
Right.
to the person there. And but the foremost, when we talk about nuisance ordinances and cleaning up properties, we also need to help people get resources that might need help. We have seniors where their grandkids drop off stuff in their yard or do that. We need to provide resources for everybody and actually find out the root cause of why they're there. And there's some of these are caused by mental illness.
Right.
And so, anything that we can do to help a person seek help from that standpoint, we'll do.
That's great news, Mayor. It's good to see, the city get involved to help people like that and make keep the city beautiful as it should be and everything. So that's great news. Well, Mayor, we appreciate your time today here. Thank you so much. This has been your Monday with the Mayor segment here on 18 WJTS with Huntingburg Mayor Neil Elkins. I'm Jared Atkins, and your weather is next here on 18 WJTS.